just arrived in Kathmandu. Exciting.
That's something fun. Yeah. I like guys.
My definition of home changed was when I realized my queerness, my own queerness. You know,
queerness doesn't define that, but knowing who you are and discovering who you are is really the definition of home. You know, this feels right. These are my people. These are who I feel safe with. These know all my flaws, and yet they still love me. That is home.
No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark.
Your father is only your father until one of you forgets.
Running as well. Your neighbors running faster than you.
Like how the spin
Breath
won't
bloody.
remember its wings, no matter how many times
You
our
have to
knees
understand
kiss the pavement.
that no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safe.
Are you listening?
how do you find home in a society that rejects your existence?
Talk to the camera. This is not how a star is.
My idea of home is expanding.
There she is.
A lot of the things we want to talk about what home is also related to what home isn't.
Nepal is considered very progressive in South Asia when it comes to like LGBTQ issues. Internationally, there's a lot of stuff, and then people are like, wow, Nepal is so progressive. But if you ask the queer community here and living here, the story is different, and they're like, no, it's shown in a certain way, portrayed better than the reality is here.
Queerness in Kathmandu is there in unsaid ways, you know.
I moved back to Nepal when I was like 14, 15, and there was absolutely no place for me to even acknowledge my queerness or talk about it.
They think that this is their society, this is how we live. Donations are really holding back them. It should be changed mentally.
At the end of the day, it isn't where I came from. Maybe home is somewhere I'm going and never
have been before. Warsansire. Home is in Province 1, hundreds of kilometers away from where I currently live. Home is a small semi-urban village 5 kilometers northeast of Itahari Chowk. Home is what I left, for better or for worse.
I'm from Illusion of the Tarai. Home is not home again. It's here sometime, and when I'm far away from the home, I miss the home. I don't want to go home. I want to stay away from home. But if I am just far away, then like now I'm literally in Kathmandu and I'm missing my home very much. It means they have both face. It is the society sees, and what inside they have faces this. And they're just crying. That society won't understand like that.
There was a time when I was doing my world travels when I felt that I was in search of my ideal home, and it was very strong for me. I was like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And I've again let go of that a bit more.
I have always struggled to settle on the definition of home. Since childhood, I received love, shelter, food, and safety, but no space for myself to claim. So I could never associate the place I was born and raised in as a home.
I think I would never really come out to them directly because I don't wanna come out to them. It's not just about me, it's about them, because my family members, my relatives, if there's a bond, you know, it might create a certain problem to their reputation.
They are upper caste and they are lower caste. It shows that. Society does not accept us because we are Dalit, and beside that, even though if we are the Dalit and queer, they will not accept more than us.
How does it feel to like not be able to come out to them?
It feels suffocating. It feels like I'm in a cage like a bird, and like a tiger in a zoo, like a prisoner. It's very complicated. Their generation were so much different than now. I also think that their perspective is right according to their times.
I never knew how much of my queerness I used to hide. I think the meaning of home, I never really explored that until I literally had to, or else I would have gone insane.
Home could have been that place if my school friends hadn't bullied me. Even as a child, I prepared myself to touch an integral part of my identity. I do not hate where I am from, but I do not exactly love it either, except for the familiarity, for the known that has somehow always been comforting to me. But the known was always unknown about what I had feared them knowing, and they still are in the shadows. I do not owe them an explanation, but knowing them would also make me feel better, even if it means everything might change.
I have not opened yet because my father is a little bit like they are like a old generation, so they don't believe me. That's why I have not opened. But I have I'm just thinking after 1 year or after a few months I am going to.
Does this feel like home? I guess so. Yeah. I think I just have multiple homes now. So this is called Bhandari Marg, which means Bhandari Street, which is my last name. So everyone who lives here is Bhandaris. So they've named this street. I think I try not to think about it too much because it does feel sad sometimes. As I've gotten older, there's been times when I've made to feel that places that where I've lived haven't been my home by other people. Like, this is not actually your home kind of thing. And that's really fucking painful, you know? Are you happy that you're queer?
I'm not, actually. Like, it's making a lot of problems to me. Like, my family turned their faces and I'm still questioning myself. Like, is it good or is it bad? I just want to be nobody. I don't know, it's arising problems, but I still want to make a change. So.
Do you think doing nude art makes you feel more queer?
Yeah, it does. Actually, it makes me motivated and kind of enjoying to be who you are, being who you are, and I don't feel shy when I'm alone. Actually, I feel great. Actually,
home could have been society without heteronormativity. You see, as a queer person, my body often has only been the home for me. That too was stereotyped and judged because this body did not wear subtlety as a strong suit. So now the body keeps the score. This body that did not pick up on the obsession with sports and learn to play football, let alone score some goals, now keeps counts of trauma.
You know, I really believe that the only home we'll ever have is ourselves and our own bodies. So as long as I feel good about that within myself, I don't really need external validation. Yeah.
Home as a sentiment has always been a little bit alien for me. I was never ever myself when I was existing in this world. And in that situation, my queerness, my X-ness, my arrowness, my ADHD-ness, all of it was masked. And I just didn't know that people liked living and loved living, you know. And I couldn't pinpoint why I didn't like existing. I didn't want to, and I can't villainize my family or the school or places I grew up in because they were the best of people. And still, it always was never accommodating enough for me to want to live until I found out that there are many people like me, in fact like millions of people like me who experience life like I do. So all of these things have brought me closer to my body feeling like home to me.
I definitely lacked confidence when I was a teenager. I think I just never felt beautiful or attractive. And then I started doing like photo shoots and kind of artistic expressions of my body and skin and sexuality, and I feel really proud of myself that I went on that journey.
Home was also supposed to be my femininity. I started distancing from the warmth that once comforted me. I started to purposely avoid them. You see, it was a defense mechanism. I wanted to live first before they had the chance to abandon me. The deep-seated fear of rejection inside me grew bigger each day, and it screamed that all the familiar faces around me would outcast me soon as they learned about the unconventional parts of me. Home was the little junk food party I had with my friends with 10 rupees my father gave me before he left for abroad for the first time. And years later, home would be a physical one. Even as a 10-year-old, it meant everything to me, but importantly, I could live in a bubble of my claimed space. I romanticized every bit of it. Home was the newly constructed walls as they stood tall, symbolic of my parents' pride, having built one in their 40s. Home, ironically, was leaving the place I was born and raised for Kathmandu after grade 10 exams. New city, but still the naive old me. Home felt like leaving Nepal's spring wine on my first international flight as a naive 20-year-old. I thought I would find a home when I went to another country, but anxiety self-invited itself and slipped inside me. I was still discreet about my queerness. Thankfully, I had some good support system who enabled me to take it one day at a time. I wish home was the platonic friendship that we carried on for life. Everything else crashed. My mental health, studies, and financial situations. I did everything at home to feel the sense of belongingness, but my heart yearned for something more.
Home is now a place where I feel like I belong and I'm accepted. And I'm like blessed to have all of these people to share this home with. So the first moment that I felt like I was among people who were mine was the first offline meetup we had for Nepali aspects. It was International Asexuality Day 2021. And most of us were so much in confusion regarding what we were experiencing, how much we should be open about. So we took a photo and like the gravity of the moment was so heavy. All of us were teary-eyed and we were like just, holding our breath and it's like just not realizing that this was real. We met people who understand us without explaining anything. And at the same time, it's so funny. A small kid ran along and he just asked, Didi, kun desko jhanda ho? So which translates to which country's flag is this? I didn't even wait a second or so. I just said ace desko jhanda ho. So like ace Des means country, so it's like ace country's flag. So that's what I said, and it's like ace this. That's what the kid said, and it just ran away. Like, where is this ace this? But that moment of finding that space, with your aceness, just out there in public with no inhibitions, and like we don't rely on your approval to exist. We exist nonetheless. That moment was when I felt like, yeah, I'm home. I'm home.
I knew I had to stay in Kathmandu, so I went there for my residency with Khalo 101. Now a year and a half later, I quit my second job and I'm doing what I love to do. Writing, being an educator and more. I sometimes just have the comfort of my room and it feels enough.
If I actually think about what I want right now, I don't imagine a physical space at all, honestly. My ideal space would be rainbow and not sunshine all the time because I do like the cool. It will be rainbow and the people I love.
Home, weirdly, is a flat I live on rent because freedom is chaos, but it's my chaos. Home is an idea I will keep on longing for. Home for me will always be that place or person who accepts me for who I am, without conditions. All this time, I sought home in someone or somewhere else, when solitude has been my strongest home. But the heart knows I deserve more, so I offer words of solace, whispering, soon enough.
For the home, there should be talking about any stuffs. there would be a loving nature with kindness and loyalty. I want that type of home. My life started from here and I'm still the same person over here. Like, I'm now open, you know. I wasn't open back then, but now I'm open.
Until then, home is where the heart is, but the heart is not where the home is.